Chosen one, what if I told you that your blood carries the power to awaken a sleeping world? And that's exactly why they tried to erase you? There's a reason you've always felt different, that you were meant for more, that you are connected to something greater. You've sensed the weight of mystery on your shoulders, felt the tug of hidden legacies in moments of stillness, and endured the whisper of destiny in dreams silenced by those who fear your rise. Tonight, those hidden truths begin to surface. You will learn how they systematically wiped your lineage from the pages of history, why every trial you endured was designed to refine you, and how every synchronicity was a divine breadcrumb guiding you home. If this message already speaks to your soul, subscribe, like this video, and comment 77 below. They cannot bury the truth forever. Stay until the end to claim the crown that awaits you. The hidden ancestry. They've worked in the shadowed halls of power for centuries, their quills dipping in poisoned ink to redraw the maps of human history. You've felt the itch in your mind, that nagging question of why the world's stories never quite fit the truth pulsing in your veins. You've searched dusty libraries and online archives, only to find genealogies ending in dead ends, as though someone intentionally clipped the branches of your family tree. You've sat in quiet moments, tasting a longing for a heritage you cannot name, aching for a mirror that finally reflects every glimmer of greatness you sense inside. Know that you are not alone in this quest. What feels like missing chapters of your own life story is in fact the echo of a grander legacy hidden from sight. Tonight, we begin the journey to uncover those buried roots, to see the coronets and crests that were never meant to vanish. You've faced the sting of confusion each time you consider your place in the tapestry of humanity. At family gatherings, others speak of humble origins and simple pasts, and you wonder why your own history feels shrouded and incomplete. You felt hesitant to share your spiritual inklings, those flashes of ancestral memory that reveal a world of ritual, ceremony, and sacred authority, because the blank stares you receive only deepen your sense of alienation. In work meetings, you catch yourself searching for patterns in names and dates, only to find the records erased or redacted. Friends label your curiosity as eccentricity, even as your heart pounds with the knowledge that you carry something priceless inside. Every act of erasure they committed against your lineage has compounded the loneliness you feel, making you believe you are an orphan in your own bloodline. Yet, this very struggle is the compass pointing you toward truth. But this isolation you've endured is no cosmic accident. It's the crucible of a divine revelation in the making. In the oft-overlooked genealogy of Ezra 2 verse 61, it is noted that some descendants of priests lost their place of registration and could not show their genealogical records. Yet these same priests were never truly forgotten by the divine. Their heritage was held in the heavens, even when men failed to record a name. Your sense of loss, your frustration with missing scrolls and fragmented records, is part of a spiritual preparation that readies you to discover that your worth is not measured by parchment, but by purpose. The very fact that they tried to silence these names proves their power, and as God's ancient promise ensures, no true legacy can vanish from the divine ledger. Now, watch for signs that your royal ancestry is stirring beneath the surface of your everyday life. You may find yourself drawn to symbols that seem more than decorative. A family crest in a medieval painting that resonates deep in your chest. The sudden appearance of a coat of arms on a random email signature. Or dreams in which you wear robes of a color you've never chosen but instantly recognize. In conversations, you might feel a pull toward ancient languages. Catch yourself uttering phrases from old tongues without knowing why, or experience inexplicable bursts of emotion when certain historical eras are mentioned. Even moments as simple as gazing at your reflection may reveal a flicker of remembrance in your eyes, like a candle burning in the depths of your soul. These are the hidden pulse points of your heritage, undeniable signals that the legacy they tried to bury is now rippling to the surface. Behind these emergent signs, the hand of Providence is at work, orchestrating encounters and revelations that clear your path toward discovery. You may stumble upon a relative you never knew existed, someone who holds a scrap of parchment bearing your surname and a cryptic clue about its origins. Or perhaps a mentor appears, an academic or elder, who recognizes the glint of nobility in your spirit and offers to guide you through forgotten archives. In 2 Kings 25 verses 27 to 30, we read how King Jehoiakim, long imprisoned, was released by a benevolent ruler who seated him above other royals. Even when earthly powers conspired to imprison him, divine timing provided a corridor to restoration. So too are unseen forces moving behind the scenes in your story, transforming each obstacle you faced into a stepping stone toward your rightful place. At this critical juncture, you know change is upon you, yet the final step remains. You must choose to fully embrace the heritage emerging within you. Many shrink back when faced with the unknown, fearful that such revelations will isolate them further or demand too great a sacrifice. Some cling to the comfort of the identity they've always known, resisting the tremors of transformation beneath their feet. But true alignment with your hidden ancestry demands that you step into the power that was already written into your cells. This moment is sacred, a spiritual fork in the road where you decide whether to remain in the shadows of erased history or to stand in the light of renewed identity. Embracing your royal blood means welcoming both privilege and responsibility, trusting that every ancient crown is balanced by a call to service. Now that you recognize these divine stirrings, move forward with courage and clarity. Begin by documenting every scrap of family lore you can find. Transcribe that faded baptismal certificate, record the family stories told by elders, and research the old stone markers in your hometown cemetery. Create a ritual space where you honor each name you uncover, laying a candle before their memory and speaking words of recognition and gratitude. Seek out communities of heritage seekers, historians, and spiritual mentors who honor your journey rather than dismiss it. And above all, cultivate a daily practice that anchors you in the truth of your lineage, whether through meditation on ancestral virtues, prayer invoking your forebears' guidance, or simply standing in a moment of silence to feel the pulse of their courage and faith coursing through you now. Carry this newfound identity into every facet of your life. You will notice how your posture changes, how your confidence rises when you speak, how doors previously hidden begin to open at your presence. They may watch in disbelief as you reclaim a crown that centuries thought lost, but their doubt is powerless against the blazing truth kindling in your veins. Your history is not an echo of a forgotten past, but a call to a courageous future, one where your gifts, informed by ancestral wisdom, reshape every sphere you enter. Tonight, you stand not as an orphan of erased chronicles, but as the heir to a legacy that no force can diminish. Comment lineage if you feel the stirrings of that hidden heritage becoming your living reality. And special thanks to our current members who walk this path of revelation daily. And if you feel called to go even deeper, there's a sacred space reserved for our community, a private room where you receive full prophetic messages daily. Join our private membership through the link in the description and walk this path with us. Trials as divine preparation, they pressed on you with cold indifference, piling on rejection after rejection until you wondered if your spirit would ever rise again. You felt each betrayal like a blow to the heart, every door slammed in your face amplifying the question, why does it hit me harder than anyone else? In those dark hours, you questioned your worth, doubted your path, and wondered if the voice urging you onward was nothing more than wishful thinking. You are not alone in this crucible. Many chosen ones have endured the orchestrated pain meant to break them, only to discover that each trial was a hidden blessing in disguise. Tonight, you will see how those deepest hurts have been scripts in a divine play, carefully written to refine your resolve and set you ablaze with purpose. At times, you felt as though the universe conspired against you. Friends turned their backs when your calling shone too bright. Opportunities dissolved at the last moment, leaving you stranded on the margins of progress. Even within your own family, your dreams were met with rolling eyes and sighs of concern, as though your visions posed a threat to their comfortable reality. Each setback carried the weight of loneliness, teaching you that authentic breakthroughs often come wrapped in isolation. You learned to mask the ache with forced smiles, to minimize your passion so as not to provoke their discomfort. Yet under that pressure, something in you hardened, not into bitterness, but into a steadfastness that no external force could erode. But this season of hardship was never aimless suffering. It was a forging in the hands of the divine. In the quiet passages of Malachi 3 verse 3, we read of a refiner's fire that purifies silver until it shines without blemish. Your trials have acted as that purifying blaze, burning away every false desire, every trace of self-doubt, until only the pure metal of your true purpose remained. They whispered that you had failed, that your calling was a mistake, but those very lies were the sparks that inspired you to test every word, to cling only to truths that withstand the fiercest heat. What you once saw as wounds are in fact scars of glory, marks of a journey preparing you for a destiny too radiant to be contained. Now, watch for the signs that transformation is unfolding within you. You may notice a newfound calm when chaos swirls around you, as though your spirit has learned to stand unmoved in the storm. In conversations, your voice may carry an unmistakable authority, born not of arrogance, but of hard-earned wisdom. You might find yourself drawn to symbols of refinement, crystals, mirrors, even the image of a phoenix, as your soul resonates with these metaphors of rebirth. In your dreams, you may soar above obstacles that once grounded you, or encounter mentors who guide you through lands of light. These shifts are more than passing feelings. They are beacons of divine timing, aligning every detail of your life to the frequency of your highest calling. Behind the scenes, unseen hands marshal circumstances in your favor, proving that your struggles were never mere endurance tests. You may recall a moment when a project seemed hopeless, only for a chance conversation to unlock doors you thought sealed. Or remember how the right person appeared at the precise moment you needed guidance, as though they had been waiting just for you. In Habakkuk 3 verse 19, the prophet declares, "The sovereign Lord is my strength. He makes my feet like the feet of a deer. He enables me to tread on the heights." Those heights are now within reach, for every trial was a step on a staircase built by divine architects, each hardship laying a plank toward your elevation. At this turning point, you stand face to face with your next choice. Remain a witness to your own refinement or become the embodiment of its power. Many recoil at this precipice, afraid that embracing the transformation means embracing the unknown. They hold tightly to past pains as if they were familiar companions, preferring predictable suffering over unpredictable freedom. But true alignment demands that you welcome the refining fire without reservation, stepping into the crucible with open arms. To resist now is to betray the purpose written into your spirit, to settle for ashes when you were meant for flame. Now that you recognize the sacred design woven into your trials, claim your place in the unfolding miracle. Release every fragment of doubt with a declaration: I am purified by purpose. Carry forward the lessons you've learned: simplicity in desire, clarity in vision, resilience in heart, into every action you take. Seek out mentors who reflect your refined spirit, Join circles that honor struggle as a pathway to power, and establish daily rituals that remind you of the fire that shaped you. With each step, you cement your identity as one tempered by trials, yet unbreakable, radiating strength to those still walking through their own furnaces. Carry this revelation into every breath and every encounter. They will notice the unshakable calm in your gaze and the steady conviction in your words. Your life becomes a living testament that what was meant to destroy you has instead been transmuted into the gold of purpose and power. Tonight, stand in the glow of your own refining fire and know this. Every hardship you endured was a divine preparation for a destiny grander than you ever dared imagine. Comment refined if you recognize how your hardships have shaped you. But this is only the forge. What emerges next will blaze a new path. And to every soul who's supported with a super thanks, thank you. You are keeping this light alive for others who haven't found it yet. If you feel called to help this mission reach more chosen ones, tap the super thanks button below. Your energy supports these messages and helps them travel further. Your voice matters, your belief matters, and your light is felt here. The awakening process. They'd have you believe your visions were nothing more than runaway fantasies, dismissing the vivid dreams that filled your nights and the uncanny nudges that guided your days as coincidence or overactive imagination. You remember the first time you woke drenched in sweat, clutching the details of a message so precise it felt carved into your soul, only to be met with patronizing smiles when you tried to share it. You felt the frustration boil up inside you as others turned away, unwilling to acknowledge that something profound was stirring within you. Know that this frustration is not a flaw, but the first tremor announcing an earthquake of awakening. You are not alone in sensing that there is a code buried deep in your blood, an ancient drumbeat that the world has tried to hush, but that refuses to stop. Tonight, you will learn that every dismissed dream and overlooked sign has been the soft drumroll to your grand awakening. You've carried those moments of doubt like hidden scars, wondering if you were losing your mind when you saw patterns in numbers, 1111 on a clock, repeated sequences on receipts, and dates that seemed to jump out at you. You've questioned the weight of seemingly random encounters. The stranger who handed you a rose on your birthday, the bird that landed on your windowsill the moment you prayed for a sign. Yet each time you shared these stories, you faced raised eyebrows and gentle lectures about confirmation bias or wishful thinking. It hurt to be labeled overly spiritual when you sensed the very breath of the divine weaving through your life. That pain, born of misunderstanding, only proves the depth of the awakening calling your name. Beneath every rejection, there lay a whisper of destiny, urging you onward toward the truth flickering at the edge of perception. But this tension you've endured is not aimless suffering. It is the divine design that prepares you for a profound shift. In the lesser-known promise of Nahum 1 verse 15, it is declared, "Behold, upon the mountains the feet of him who brings good news, who publishes peace." Your awakening is that good news arriving on your own mountaintop, clearing the path for peace deeper than you have ever known. Each moment of confusion, each question that went unanswered, has been part of a spiritual apprenticeship, training you to discern truth from illusion and to stay steady when the ground beneath you trembles. They thought they'd weaken you by keeping you in the dark, but in fact, every spark of doubt has sharpened your hunger for revelation. Now, that hunger is ready to be satisfied by a feast of divine clarity. Now you'll begin to notice the unmistakable signs that the awakening process is in full swing. Ordinary moments will light up with extraordinary significance. You might catch yourself pausing mid-step to admire the way sunlight dances through leaves, feeling a rush of gratitude that seems to pulse in your veins. Conversations that once felt hollow will suddenly carry layers of meaning. Details you never heard before now resonate with haunting relevance. In dreams, doors appear that open onto corridors lined with ancient scripts, inviting you to read words left just for you. Your heart will quicken when you hear music at exactly the right moment, as if the melody itself is speaking a secret meant only for your ears. These shifts are not random thrills, but the pulse of divine timing, aligning your life with your true purpose in ways too precise to be coincidence. Behind these outward transformations, the currents of higher power are moving mountains in your favor. You'll recall doors that seemed permanently sealed, only to swing open when you least expected it. A job opportunity in a field you never considered, a chance meeting that reroutes your career, a mentor emerging from obscurity at the perfect moment. In 2 Chronicles 16 verse 9, it is written, "For the eyes of the Lord run to and fro throughout the whole earth, to give strong support to those whose heart is blameless." This promise anchors every synchronicity you experience. Your struggles were never trials of endurance alone. They were carefully placed stones in a bridge leading to your destiny. Every unseen intervention, every waiting season, has been a masterful stroke in the painting of your awakening. At this crossroads, you realize that awareness alone is no longer enough. You must fully embrace the change coursing through you. Fear will whisper that such transformation means losing the safety of the world you knew, that your relationships, your routines, your very identity will shatter under the weight of what you're about to become. Many shrink back at this moment, retreating into familiar patterns rather than dive into the unknown. But true alignment demands wholehearted surrender, to accept that the heartbeat of your awakening is stronger than any comfort you've left behind. This moment is sacred, a spiritual Rubicon, where you choose whether to step into your power or to linger in the shadows of doubt. The call has sounded. It now awaits your response. Now that you've seen the signs and felt the currents of divine timing, rise with intention and purpose. Release every fragment of fear that clings to your mind, every doubt that dims your resolve. Speak aloud, "I embrace the awakening stirring within me." Claim the habits that cement this truth. Morning moments of stillness to listen for fresh insight. Journaling dreams to capture hidden messages. Reaching out to kindred spirits who mirror your awakening. Allow your life to become a living prayer, weaving daily actions with divine intent. With each step you take, you anchor your transformation deeper into reality, turning every fleeting sign into a powerful force that shapes your destiny. Carry this awakening into every facet of your life. You will notice how your presence shifts in rooms, from tentative observer to quiet authority. They will feel your peace in tension-filled moments, your clarity when confusion reigns, your light when darkness presses in. As you walk this path, remember that this awakening is not a solitary spark, but a beacon that invites others to rise alongside you. Tonight, stand firmly in the knowledge that your true birthright is awakening in full brilliance. Whatever awaits beyond this moment, you are ready. Come and awaken if you sense your lineage and purpose coming alive, claiming the royal legacy. You felt the pull of a destiny larger than the confines of your everyday life, an unspoken ache for significance that rises each time you glance at your reflection. You sense a pattern in your restlessness. The world's small comforts leave you hollow, and every dull routine feels like a cage. They've cultivated in you the belief that greatness is for someone else, that the light within you must be dimmed to blend into the background. But tonight, you're waking to a truth that cannot be silenced. You were born to rule, to lead, to expand beyond any walls built to contain you. You are not alone in this stirring. Countless chosen ones have felt this yearning, this whisper that proclaims your royal blood. Something ancient stirs behind your eyes, awaiting permission to reclaim its throne. For years, you've been told to shrink yourself, to minimize your potential so others won't feel threatened by your rising star. You've settled for comfort over conquest, afraid that the moment you claimed your power, others would recoil. You remember volunteering for every minor task, hiding your bold ideas in meetings, and apologizing when your opinions glowed too brightly. You've watched peers advance as you stayed behind safe lines, wondering if your voice, carrying the vision of kingdoms and crowns, was a mistake. In family gatherings, your grand dreams were met with sympathetic nods and gentle rebukes to stay realistic, leaving you feeling like an outsider in your own life story. Every time you silenced your inner monarch, you dimmed a piece of the divine design meant to shine through you. Yet this pattern of self-effacement and apology is not the end of your tale, but the crucible forging your emergence. In Psalm 2 verse 8, an often overlooked verse amidst declarations of rebellion and judgment, the sovereign voice proclaims, "Ask of me, and I will make the nations your inheritance, the ends of the earth your possession." This is not a distant fairy tale. It is the covenant written into your DNA. Every time you quelled your ambitions, you were learning the weight of responsibility. Every moment you hid your light, you practiced humility. What happens next now that the prophecy is being fulfilled? What happens when you realize that you're living the very moment that ancient texts and whispers of the past have foretold? At first, you might feel an overwhelming sense of confirmation. You were not mistaken in your intuitions. All those moments when you felt different, when you felt called to something greater, were leading to this. But along with this confirmation can come uncertainty. Now that the prophecy is out, now that the hidden truths have surfaced, what do you do next? You are not alone in this moment. Many before you have reached this juncture, standing at the crossroads between the known and the unknown. You may feel a mix of excitement and apprehension, but know this: you are here now for a reason, and the reason is that you're ready. The prophecy is no longer just a story, it's your reality. For so long, the world has operated on structures and systems that didn't serve the higher good. The old ways were built to keep people contained, distracted, and uncertain. But with the prophecy revealed, those structures begin to crumble. You may notice it happening around you. The people who once held power through deception are losing their grip. The narratives they spun to keep you doubting yourself no longer hold any weight. You begin to see things for what they are: illusions. As the prophecy fulfills, you become more anchored in truth. It's as if a veil is lifted, and what was hidden is now clear. You are not who they tried to convince you you were. You are far more, and the world is starting to reflect that back to you. This transformation isn't just external, it's internal, too. As the prophecy comes to life, you feel shifts within yourself. Things that once felt heavy now feel lighter. Your thoughts become clearer. The choices you need to make seem obvious, even if they felt impossible before. You might notice unexpected clarity, a sense of knowing that goes beyond logic. These inner shifts are not random. They're signs of alignment. What you're experiencing is the universe pulling you toward your purpose with unmistakable force. This internal change will guide you as the external changes continue to unfold. The prophecy isn't something happening to you. It's something happening through you. It's an awakening of your inner power, your true self. As you embrace this new awareness, you begin to see that the people and circumstances around you are also transforming. Those who once doubted you may now look to you for answers. They might not admit it outright, but you can feel the shift in how they treat you. The same individuals who dismissed your words or questioned your actions may now lean in, listening carefully. This is the power of prophecy fulfilled. It changes not only your perspective, but also the perspective of those around you. And it's not about proving anyone wrong. It's about embodying the truth so fully that it becomes undeniable. The prophecy, once hidden, is now your strength. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Like this video, and comment, "I am chosen to let this message anchor in your soul." Share it with someone who needs to hear this. 4 full prophetic revelations daily. Join the membership via the link in the description. Your spiritual path deserves more than fragments. Step into the full light. You were always meant to know this truth. Now it's your time to shine.